gana action niba ushaka kwiga indimi gana action ushaka kuba umusirimu gana action.
Hello everyone, welcome to Action College YouTube channel. Elijah is my name. Today I'm going to share with you some advanced tips to boost your listening skill. It has been a while wondering, asking yourself, how am I going to boost my listening skill? You are lucky that today I am going to share with you some of tips which are going to help you to boost listening skill to native speakers. Let's start with the first tip that is going to help you to boost your listening skill. The first skill, as you see, is listen to fast-paced podcasts like This American Life or Free Economics. Mainly, you have to listen to these podcasts without slowing them. To slow them down is like you don't have to stop them while listening. All you have to do is to listen from the first word up to the last word without slowing them down, which means without stopping. Here you have to try your brain to catch the message, not every word. While listening, it is better that you have to make your brain catch the message, but not the every word. Second, focus on gist and implied meaning under time, place. This means what? To gist is like to get or like to listen. The implied meaning in a given time, which means under time, place. This is the first skill, the first tip that is going to help you to boost your listening to native speakers. Second skill is listen for structure, not just words. This means what? If you are listening for structure, this means that you are listening mainly getting the organization of the ideas, organization of the conversation, not every word as it is stated as the second tip. Mainly, the advanced speakers listen for how ideas are organized. I'm telling you who is advanced in English speaking. Mainly, you have to listen for how ideas in the conversation or in the audio are organized. But again, while listening, basing on the structure, not on the word, you have to pay attention on discourse markers. Discourse markers, however, in contrast, furthermore, these are the discourse markers. Mainly, they help in showing the organization of the ideas. If the speaker starts with the idea, and then when he or she wants to add on something, or when he or she wants to give some idea which is contrary to the idea that he started with, the word, however, is used in the speaking. In contrast, also shows that you're going to mention something which is opposite to what you stated before. Pay attention to transition in tone or direction. Mainly, the tone refers to the kind of voice in speaking the speaker is applying. I might start with a high tone and then I shift to the low tone, which means that the way I'm delivering the message, the way I'm pronouncing the word might be different from how I stated. And then pay attention to the argument structure in debate, TED talks, or lecture. Mainly while practicing your listening skill, for you to boost it up easily, it might be like in listening to a debate. So you have to pay attention to the structure of the arguments in the debate. And even we have what we call TED talks. That are the talks that always a person can try on to boost listening skill. Then the third tip that I brought for you today, it is identify registers and tone shifts. As I said before, while listening, you have to pay attention to the shift of the tone or shift of registers. Mainly, listen for shifts between formal and informal speech. Formal and informal speech is like that is the way that we can deliver the message while speaking, but in informal way, and then there is the way that we can deliver the message while speaking in formal way. There you have to pay attention. A speaker might be speaking and then you find that he or she has the shift from formal speaking or formal speech to the informal speaking. Second, sarcasm versus sincerity. This kind of sarcasm is like the way of saying something in an opposite way, but meaning the same thing or situation that is appearing there. Then we have passive aggressive tone, hesitation or ire. In ironic way, this is when you see something, it seems to be like sarcasm but not 100%, but ironically. This is in news, interviews, and even movies of complex dialogues like West Wings and Claude. These are the kind of title of the movies that you can even search, and then you see how these sarcasm versus sincerity, passive-aggressive tone, hesitation, and iron they are used there. This is when you're going to boost up your listening with the aid of these tips. Number 4, analyze conversation dynamics. Here, in analyzing the conversation dynamics. Dynamics means the way conversation changes in a given period of time. Then when you pay attention to the way those conversation keeps on changing while conversing or while speaking, you have to pay attention to who is talking, the power of dynamics, and the intention. So mainly you might get to hear a kind of record or a kind of audio, but the person who started the speaking or the speech is not the one who's going to end the speech. They are going to be like shifting or changing. So you have to pay attention. My accent might be different to the accent of the one who started. So means you have to pay attention to who is speaking, the power of dynamics, and the intention. The intention means what do I want to convey in speaking any kind of the message. What is my intention? What do I to deliver? What kind of message that do I want to give? The fifth, this is practicing the blind listening. What do we mean by a blind listening? You might have the movie or you like to watch movies which has no subtitles or an English movies which are not interpreted in Kinyarwanda or any other kind of their language. So here, while listening, you might be watching this on your TV there at home and you're watching the movie. What you have to do if you want to boost your listening skill, you have to close your eyes so that you can't read the subtitles, and then you figure out that are you getting every and each word which is spoken there. If you practice the blind listening, this is going to help you to, as the time goes on, you're going to figure out that the level where you was by the time you started practicing blind listening will be changing over time. Then, here you have to do what? You have to watch or listen to shows or videos without any visual cues. When we talk of visual cues, it's like those subtitles which are written on the screen while watching the movie. Then we have the examples there. You have to listen to movie audio without watching. That is the practice that I told you. You have to use audio only mode on Netflix or YouTube. These are platforms where you can visit and you try the blind listening. We have try podcast with multiple accents and speakers. When we talk of accents, mainly we're going to go in deep to explain it in deep about accents on the next tip. Number 6 is backshadowing with transcripts. Backshadowing with transcripts. This means what? You have heard the record or a conversation. There was now the subtitles or any other kind of material that can help you to watch the words which are spoken. What we call a transcript, this is the paper or a written document which is going to show you what has been spoken in the audio or in the conversation that you have been hearing. Number 7 is deliberate accent exposure. Deliberate accent exposure. This means what? You have to choose what kind of accent are you going to prefer to listen to. It might be, as examples are there, you have to pick one unfamiliar accent per week. You might find that you have obstacles to USA or American accent. So I advise you as a tip that which is going to help you to boost up your listening to American accent, you have to take like 1 week, you practice listening to American accent. There's the examples. You can also have a week practicing UK accent, mainly British. And even you can take a week and you practice South Africa accent. Number 8, tip number 8 is use the chunk rebuild method. The chunk means like to divide something into pieces. If you have like a complex sentence, if you have heard a complex sentence, some kind of tip that is going to help you to either get it in the right way to get the message that is delivered there is like you have again to practice. You've had the sentence, and for you to get the message, please try to divide it into pieces. That's what we call chunk. Then after dividing it into pieces, you have again to bring it again together, which is to rebuild. It's like when you break into pieces means that you have now blocked it separately. Then again afterwards you have to bring it together, which is rebuild. take a complex sentence, break into intelligible chunks, and then rebuild it from memory. When we talk of from memory, it's like from your mind, from your head, not listening it again, but bring your memory back and then rebuild the complex sentence that you have been hearing. Then examples here, you have to listen to: despite her objection, the proposal pressed unfamously. Then, if you try to break this complex sentence into chunks or into pieces, you have to take, first of all, you say, despite her objections, the proposal passed unfamously. Then, at the end, for the third, you have to reconstruct from memory orally in writing. It's like when we talk of orally or in writing, you have again to bring it back as it was stated as a complex sentence. And you say that despite her objections, the proposal passed unanimously. Then the tip number 9 is mental model listening, predictive listening. A predictive listening means like, I am saying something, and before I continue to the next, you who is listening, you have now predicted, you have now tried to bring in your mind what is going to be next. So what is going to be next? That is the act of predicting. So if you predict to something that is going to follow any kind of statement that I have made, that is the model listening practice, which is going to boost your listening skill to native speakers. Before listening, when you are trying this type of mental model listening, you have before to guess what you expect to hear. As I've been saying that I might say something and you feel like now the next is going to be this. Then, while listening, test your prediction in real time. So, again, you have now to test if what you predicted is what I said in my speech or in the conversation that you're hearing. Then, here you can use academic lectures, panel discussions, TED Talks and practice, pause the video, predict what might be said next, and then play and compare. Here, when we talk of lectures, mainly we know lecturers in the university. When he or she is delivering a kind of lesson, that lesson, we call it a lecture. Then you can take any kind of lecture and you listen to, and then while listening you can pause, and then you predict what is going to be next, and then you find if what you predicted is there. So, for today, I wished to bring the 9 tips which can boost your listening to native speakers, and I can conclude saying that once you practice this regularly, you find yourself getting the speaking of native speakers of different accents. As I told you that you have to try the exposure to different accents. As I gave you like UK accent, American accent, South African accent, and etc. For now, I can say that thank you for watching, and for more explanations and practices, we're giving you a warm welcome in Action College. Stay safe, be blessed.
Gana action, niba ushaka kwiga indimi, gana action, ushaka kuba umusirimu, gana action.